What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cal back at it again with another video, man. So before I start today's video, I would like to start off by saying, last video, y'all showed love, bro. That was my most viewed video and my most liked video that I've ever posted, bro. And I appreciate the love, and I appreciate y'all for showing the love, man. Let's keep up. Keep it up. Just keep up the love, man. I appreciate y'all. So, for today's video, I hopped on the app TikTok. You know what TikTok is, right? If you don't know what TikTok is, well, hi, welcome to Earth. But basically, I took some videos of people saying unpopular opinions on the NBA, and I'm basically just gonna be discussing, my opinions on their unpopular opinions. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's get right to it.
Unpopular opinion. Basketball edition.
Number one.
Will Chamberlain isn't a top 10 player ever because of his competition.
Now, I hear opinions like this all the time, bro. All the time I hear opinions like this about Will Chamberlain. And the thing is, yes, he played against weaker competition than the people that are playing today, but he still played against all-time greats. He still played against Bill Russell, Kareem, the Logo, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, just to put like a few names out there. He still played against all-time greats. And not only that, yes, he probably did have, weaker competition, but you still got to look at the things that he did against that competition and how he was able to do it. He was able to do that stuff because, he's Wilt. Wilt the still. He was built different. You know what I'm saying? He was just like that. And he was such a, strong, dominant athlete. He was just a really good athletic player. And I feel like if Wilt played today in a more competitive era, he would still do this. He would still do the stuff that he did back then. Now, he probably wouldn't score 100 points in the game. He probably wouldn't average 50 points in the game, but he would still be that dominant player. He would at least average 25 points. And that's just at least. I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged 30, maybe even 40 points in today's league. Even if he played in the 90s, the era where you see more big men playing in the post, against Shaq and Hakeem, the David Robinsons, the Patrick Ewings, all of them, I still feel like because of how athletic he was, how much of a freak that he would still be the same dominant Wilt that he was back in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s.
Number two.
LeBron James is the best player ever.
Now look, I can't say that I agree, but I still can't necessarily say that I disagree, because I still have to look at the other players that have good arguments for the GOAT conversation. I still have to look at the stuff that they did throughout their career. Once I do further research on that, I do plan on making a video on who I necessarily think is the best player ever. Like, I still have to look at the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, the Kareems, the Bill Russells, all of them. I still have to look into those players. So I can't necessarily say if LeBron is the best player ever or not. But so far, based off the research that I looked at so far, I personally think that Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. That's just me, though. That's just me. I think that Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT.
Number three.
Giannis should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yes, that right there, we can agree on. Giannis definitely should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Because the Defensive Player of the Year is the best defender in the NBA, right? Rudy Gobert, yes, he had a great argument because he was the best paint defender. Like, he was just locked down in the paint. If you had Rudy Gobert guarding you, bro, you was not having a good night. That's just how it is. But Giannis was a more versatile defender. He could guard outside as well as inside. As when you got Rudy Gobert, who was not really a great perimeter defender. Giannis was more versatile, and overall, he was just a better defender because of that. So, with that being said, yes, I do believe that in 2019 he should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
Number 4.
Damian Lillard is better than Kyrie Irving.
Honestly, to keep it a buck, I don't blame him for saying that. And I honestly agree. Only because these last 3 seasons, Kyrie has proven that teams do play better without him and teams do succeed more without him. Like, okay, look, in 2018, right, the Boston Celtics, they were literally 1 game away from going to the finals. Now, would they have won? No. They wasn't going to be Golden State. No, they wouldn't have won. But the next season, when Kyrie, he actually played that season. He wasn't injured. They only went to the second round, and they got gentlemen swept. And it was bad. And then come this season, he goes to a new team, and his new team had a better record without him when he didn't play than when he actually played. And then, not only that, the Boston Celtics, the team that he left, made it to the Eastern Conference again. Now, sure, they didn't make it to the finals, but they still made it 1 round ahead of when they had Kyrie and they had Kemba Walker as a point guard. And most people would tell you Kemba Walker is not the better point guard than Kyrie, but they still have more success with Kemba than with Kyrie. So, I don't know. And not only that, Kyrie, he just fails to stay healthy. Like in 2018, he didn't play in the playoffs because he got injured. This season, he didn't play majority of the season. He only played 20 games this season because he got injured. So Kyrie's health is also a problem too, as well. And plus, Damian Lillard, Damian Lillard, he's just different. You know what I'm saying? He's just different. But yeah, I agree.
Number 5. Michael Jordan won rings because he had a super team back in the day.
I agree to a point because yes, for that time, yeah, that was definitely a super team, no cap. But Michael Jordan was he was the main guy on that super team, and he was averaging 30 points a game in just about every finals that he played. So yeah, he did have a super team. But he was the main reason why that team was considered a super team. And not only that, he was great on both ends of the floor, which also helped him get rings. So, yeah, I agree, but only to a certain point. And I would also like to add on the fact that, yeah, Jordan didn't necessarily, he had a super team, but it was times where, for example, the second three-peat, 1998, for example, Scottie, he wasn't necessarily playing how you think Scottie Pippen would play. He only averaged, I want to say, he averaged 13, 16 points during that series, and he was inefficient during that series. Look it up. You'll see the numbers don't lie. But, yeah. So Jordan, at certain times, he did sometimes carry that super team. So, yeah.
6. Derrick Rose will be a Hall of Famer by the end of his career. Come on now.
Thank you. I've been waiting for somebody to say that because ever since, Derrick Rose, he been battling injuries and all that, people just been disrespecting his name. They forgot what he did in the early 2010s, late 2000s. That man, Derrick Rose, he was nice. And not only that, he was the youngest MVP to ever do it, bro. He was the youngest person to win MVP. And the way that he got that MVP, bro, how could he not be a Hall of Famer? And not only that, think about it. I don't think there's any MVP that's able to make the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame. Just think about it. Why would Derrick Rose not be a Hall of Famer? Yeah, after he got injured, he started going through bumps and all that. But still, even today, Derrick Rose, me and my homies, we even say Derrick Rose should have been an All-Star this season. Derrick Rose was nice. So why can't he be a Hall of Famer,
And last but not least, number 7. Aaron Gordon got freaking robbed in the dunk contest.
Now look, this TikTok was made before 2020's All-Star Weekend. So for this one, 2020's All-Star Weekend, yes, he definitely got robbed. He literally jumped over the tallest player in the NBA. How could you not win the dunk contest for that? But he was talking about 2016. Now, in 2016, I'm not going to say that he was robbed. Both of them definitely deserved it because both of them had some good dunks. Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, they both had some really spectacular dunks. But I'm not going to necessarily say that he got robbed. I'm just going to say that it could have went both ways because both of them really deserved it. They could have just been co-winners. It would have been better if they would have been co-winners. But at the end of the day, you can only have one winner. Zach LaVine ended up winning it, and I'm really not upset with that decision. Well, so that's that with that unpopular opinions video. Now, time for the next one. Let's get right to it.
Let the hate comments come in because it's time for Unpopular Basketball Opinions, Part 3. If there was a team of all 80s and 90s players in their prime, and 2000s and 2010s players in their prime, the 80s and 90s would win.
To be honest, I honestly don't know. Okay, so after watching that video, right, I sat down and I made 2 lineups. An 80s and 90s lineup and a 2000s and 2010 lineup. I made the starters and I made the backups, and then I did the same for the 2000s and 2010s. So I'm going to try to put the list up here, but based off this list, tell me, put in the comments below, who do you think would win out of that lineup? Because I really don't know. I'm honestly conflicted right now. But who do y'all think would win?
Load management either needs to be regulated or it needs to be non-existent because it's very annoying trying to go to a game to see a star player and that star player doesn't play. I had a traumatic experience once.
Yes. Yeah, that right there, I can agree on. Because, yeah, it's the NBA. Yeah, you're an athlete, you work hard, you need your rest days and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's your job. It's a hard one, but it's your job. You're getting paid millions of dollars, all of this money to do your job. Your job is to come out there and to perform at your best level for all these people that's literally coming to come see you. Okay, think about it like this. 2018, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron, he was the best player on that team. And he was probably the only player that was actually good on that team. Kevin Love was an All-Star that year, so he was decent. But let's be honest, if you went to a Cleveland Cavaliers game, you went to go see LeBron. So just imagine you buy some Cleveland Cavalier tickets and LeBron just doesn't show up. For that season, LeBron just doesn't show up. And he plays a trash team. Let's just say he plays Charlotte. He plays Charlotte and he just doesn't show up. Then it's what am I at the game for? Because the main person that I came here to see didn't show up. And not only that, you probably got some nosebleed tickets or something. So it's just going to be a bad experience. So yeah, load management, yeah, it does need to be regulated somehow. Because that's really unfair to the fans.
Coach Carter is the best basketball movie ever.
I haven't really watched that many basketball movies. The ones that I've watched off the top of my head is Glory Road, Coach Carter, Space Jam, and Above the Rim. But out of all those movies that I've seen, yeah, Coach Carter is definitely, by far the best movie out of all those movies. Space Jam is second, But Space Jam is not better than Coach Carter, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yes, LeBron is better than Jordan, but Wilt Chamberlain is better than both of them.
Yes. You know what? I'm happy that I found somebody to finally agree with me on this. Yes. LeBron is a better player than Jordan, in my opinion. But, like he said, Wilt Chamberlain is the better player than both of them. If they played Wilt Chamberlain one-on-one, Wilt Chamberlain would destroy them. No cap. Oh, but he's a center. He's a center. He's so slow. He wouldn't be able to keep up. You do realize Wilt Chamberlain beat Jim Brown, a Hall of Fame running back, in a race twice in a row. Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain was like that, bro. He was like that.
Derrick Rose could win the Sixth Man of the Year award this year, but it's not because he's the best sixth man. It's because they won't vote for Lou Will again because of voters fatigue.
At the time that this video is being made, the Sixth Man of the Year has already been voted for, and that was to Montrezl Harrell. Congratulations. So, yeah, not much of an opinion I could give on that one.
James Harden or Russell Westbrook, neither separate or together, will ever win a championship.
I can't agree on that. I honestly can't agree on that. Only because we don't know what the future may hold. Because James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they both could pull a Kevin Durant and just build a super team. But I would agree if he would have said something like James Harden and Russell Westbrook wouldn't win a ring with a team, like with their own team that's built around them. Nah, they couldn't win the ring. I'm sorry, but they couldn't win the ring. But if they joined like another superstar, like made like a super team, like if another superstar came to Houston, which is highly unlikely, but if that did happen, yeah, I could see them winning the ring.
Dwight Howard should have never had to fight for a spot on an NBA roster. In Charlotte, Atlanta, Houston, everywhere he's been, he's still dropped points and he's still grabbed rebounds.
Yes, I agree. I fully agree on that. Dwight Howard should never have to fight on a spot on the team because Dwight Howard is still a good center in the NBA. But I think like that's like a problem that like fans have in the NBA and like people that like the NBA. That's a problem that they have where like a player would have their peak. They would have like their peak, but then like after like their peak is over and they start to fall off, they just forget about them. They start calling them trash and stuff like that, and just completely forget the fact that they're still a good player. They're just not the player that they was before. Same thing I was saying about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose got injured and all that, but he's still a really good player, and he could have been an all-star this season. But people don't recognize that because he's not the MVP Derrick Rose that we knew back in 2011. People just label him trash and all that. Even though he still dropped a 50-point game in 2018, people still forget about how good Derrick Rose actually is. Same thing with Dwight. Dwight Howard is not the best player that we knew back in 2009, 2010, 2011. He's not the same Dwight Howard. So with that being said, fans just call Dwight Howard trash and all that. But I am glad that he has been playing like he's been playing during the playoffs, because after this playoffs, people can finally see that Dwight Howard is still a good player and a good center to this league, and he could still contribute to teams in a positive way. So, yeah. Now, on to the next and final video.
Let's go. We see the hype outside, right from the house. Took it straight from outside.
This right here, this just blows me when people say that about Wilt, because that's not a good reason on why a player should be overrated. He's a foot taller than all of his opponents. Okay, and because let me remind you, okay, so the average height in today's NBA is 6'6", 6'7". Taco Fall is 7'6", 7'5", around there. So he's literally a foot taller than all of his opponents. But he sits the bench. He's a bench player. He sits on the bench. Manute Bol, he was 7'7", a foot taller than all of his opponents. So why isn't he an all-time great center? Yeah, he holds the most blocks in the game, but that's literally it. Why isn't he an all-time great? Exactly. That's my point. Wilt Chamberlain wasn't even the tallest player in the league at the time. Wilt Chamberlain was 7'1". Tallest player in the league at that time was 7'3". Do your research. But I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name. And that's the point. It's not just, oh, he was a foot taller than all of his opponents, so of course he's going to be better. No, that's not the case. Wilt Chamberlain was just that good. Come on now. Come on. Put some respect on Wilt Chamberlain's name, bro. So that was the last unpopular opinions video that I'm going to talk about. So before I finish off this video, I would like to say some of my unpopular opinions. So to start off, Tim Duncan is better than Kobe. And not only that, Tim Duncan was the best player of the 2000s. That's number one. Number two, Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest player of all time, as I know of, because I still have to do more research. But so far, I believe that Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. Number three, if we take out all the players that was injured this season, players that didn't play a majority of the time, so like Stephen Curry, Clay, KD, all them, Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player in the league. Number four, Devontae Graham should have won Most Improved Player, bro. Because, come on now. He averaged 4.4 points last season. And now he's averaging almost 20. Almost 20 points this season, bro. Like, come on now. Y'all gotta give my boy his props, bro. He should have won Most Improved. I'm not mad that Bam or Brandon Ingram, I forgot who won it. I know it was between them two, though. I'm not mad that they got it. But Devontae Graham, he should have been Most Improved, bro. Come on now. And then number five, which is going to be the last one, but number five, Larry Bird was better than Magic. He was a better player than Magic. Magic Johnson just had a better team. That's why he won more rings. And yeah, those are my unpopular opinions. So with that being said, that's the end of the video. Let me know what y'all think, man. This is my first NBA video. So yeah, put down in the comments what y'all think of it. Was it good? Was it bad? Do y'all want to see more? Do y'all want me to do another unpopular opinions video? Yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all share. Like I said last video, walk down the street. Everybody that you see when you walk down the street, make sure that you show them my channel. Make sure y'all show them this video. And make sure that they do the same thing. Like, comment, and sub. Okay? And yeah, that's it. I love y'all. Peace.